What's up, students? Today we are going to be in Matthew chapter 23. But before we jump in, I'm curious. Have you ever had a moment in your life where you are trying to show off for someone and it doesn't quite go as you planned? Well, this has actually happened to me quite more than I would like to admit. So there was this one time in high school, a bunch of friends and I went for a hiking and rappelling trip. If I'm being honest, heights aren't my thing. But my friends begged me to come because I'm in high demand. What can I say? So anyways, I went, and when we arrived to the top of the canyon for everybody to start rappelling, all I knew was I did not want to rappel because I was scared to death. But I tried to play it cool and not act like I was scared because I honestly didn't want people to judge me or think weird of me or less of me. So in a moment of bravery or stupidity, I don't really know yet, I agreed to finally rappel. Even though I felt like I was about to poop my pants, I knew I had to remain cool, calm, and collected. So I hooked up to the rope, I caught a deep breath, and honestly prepared myself to die. But as I walked towards the edge of the cliff, I reminded myself to take it slow and just ease myself off. I tried to give myself a little pep talk. This was all good in theory, but on my literal first step, I slipped and fell off of this cliff. And I was able to catch the rope to stop me from falling all the way, praise Jesus. But I was just dangling upside down on the side of this cliff. So in case you were wondering, I've never been rappelling again. One, that was one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. But two, this was also one of the most terrifying moments of my life. A lot of factors played into what happened that day, but ultimately it came down to one thing. I was too prideful and arrogant to express my fear of rappelling. So listen carefully. I wasn't willing to confront what was going on inside of me because I was too worried about what other people thought of me. I think more than not, we can all relate to this idea. Specifically for some of us, we too often are so focused about how our relationship with God looks to others and forget to focus on our actual relationship with God. And so in Matthew 23, Jesus is speaking to a group of people about the religious leaders and the way in which they are living. To sum it up, these guys were all bark and no bite. They looked spiritual in every way they acted, but they were only doing it for themselves. They forgot who they were doing it for. So in Matthew 23, we find Jesus speaking to the crowd about the religious leaders, and in verse 25, he says, "Woe to you, teachers of the law and Pharisees, you hypocrites! You clean the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. First, clean the inside of the cup and dish, and then the outside will be clean." So just like me on the rappelling trip, the religious leaders were so focused on how they looked to others that they placed all of their efforts into their appearance. They weren't willing to approach their inner wickedness, their sin, their problems, their struggles, and in doing so, they missed out on the one thing that truly mattered, a relationship with Jesus. For some reason, there's this stigma that as followers of Jesus, you have to have it all together. But ultimately, that's not reality. The Bible is very clear that we are all messed up and we are all in need of help. We all need help. This little statement is what ties every human being together, no matter where you come from or what you have done. We are all in need of help. But the good news of Jesus is this: Jesus desires a relationship with you more than he cares if you have it all together. Jesus doesn't call you to be perfect. He calls you to be obedient, and that starts with you and Jesus. It does not start with what others see you do. So it's completely possible for every single one of us to be fooled into thinking we are being obedient, but completely miss it. Because what Jesus is saying is you can't live like you love me if you don't actually love me. I think it's safe to say we all have this desire and this longing to be fully known. But it's scary letting people in to see the deepest, darkest parts of you. It's scary allowing people to see your fears, your struggles, your worries, your doubts. But that's what Jesus is calling us to do with him. He's handing out an invitation for me and you to bring to him our sin, bring him our pride, our selfish ambition. So don't be like me on the rappelling trip, too prideful to address what was going on in my heart. Also, don't be like the religious leaders preoccupied with others' perceptions of them. Instead, run to Jesus and give him everything. Let him cleanse you and heal you in a way you've never experienced. Apart from a personal relationship with Jesus, another great way to do this is through community with peers. We have youth small groups every Wednesday night, and it's simply a time for students from all over Lubbock to come together with one common desire and purpose, and that's Jesus. So I encourage you to join us tonight at 6:30 on the Zoom. You can find the link in the City Church app. We better see everybody tonight. So my name is Dylan, and as always, stay classy, City Church.
What else are you gonna come up with?